This Arctic wolf was shot several times, and his life was in danger. He held back his last breath, with difficulty moving the body, just for the last look at the child at home. The little wolf cub heard the noise. I thought it was my mom who brought food. Come back. But when I came out I saw my mother lying motionless on the ground. He had a puzzled expression on his face, staring blankly at my mother. The wolf mother let out a mournful roar when she saw the young child, and then his eyes were moist. Reluctantly closed his eyes forever. The little wolf thought its mother was asleep, stepped forward and licked my mother's cheek. Wanna wake up Mom? But Mom still doesn't move. The little wolf is at a loss. Can only snuggle up to my mother. Mother uses her small body to help her warm up. After a merciless night of wind and snow, still missing, Mom wakes up. That's when the little wolf realized, I may have lost my mother forever. He emits a tender voice, to raise oneself to the sky and mourn, expressing longing for my mother. After bidding farewell to my mother, he had to make a living alone. Just then, waves of wolf howling came from afar. The little wolf looked at his mother reluctantly, still mustered the courage to follow the sound and find it, be a wild wolf. After seeing it, the originally playful wolf pack instantly ran away. Because the mother of the little wolf was born to Buck and the white wolf, they are already of impure bloodline. The little wolf is a mixture of mother and dog. He was also ostracized by the wolf pack as a result, without MOM's care, not being accepted by the wolf pack again. In this strange and cruel world, all that awaits him is death. The little wolf wandered aimlessly to the riverbank, want to drink some water, but due to the short legs, I can't reach it anymore. Just then, Jack the gold miner, who was fetching water, saw a cute little wolf with a silly face, and teasingly whistled at him. The little wolf was immediately scared, and froze in place. After reacting, let out two shouts. Scamper. After all, this is his first time seeing humans, just as he was starving and at a loss. Finally, discovered another small river. What surprised him even more was that there are actually several stranded big fish here. Unfortunately, my mother hasn't taught him how to hunt yet. Looking at the plump food in front of me, he doesn't even know how to capture it. I can only watch the big fish swim away from my eyes, and he can only take a few sips of the river water to satisfy his hunger. Subsequently, he found some mice serendipity in the woods, but mice are agile, quickly ran back into the cave. The little wolf was so anxious that it ran wildly at the entrance of the cave, but it was all in vain. In order to survive in this silver-clad wilderness, little wolves who cannot hunt can only nibble on branches to satisfy their hunger. But this is not enough to fill the stomach. Just as he was anxiously searching for food, suddenly discovered a wild rabbit hanging not far away. The little wolf rushed over excitedly, and faced the sky. How could a real wolf know that this is a trap set by a hunter? Just as he stood up and desperately jumped up, the blood corner trigger mechanism was instantly suspended. He struggled hard, wanted to break free from constraints, but it didn't help. Hunters lurking in the distance also heard the sound and rushed towards them, whispering after seeing the little wolf cub, then break open his mouth, saw a snow-eyed sharp tooth, make them overjoyed. This is a rare third generation of mixed race. It is an excellent working dog for them. So he brought the little wolf back to the tribe for domestication, and named him by Ya. Time flies. White Teeth have grown into a robust adult wolf. He hunts with his master every day. This day, how many gold diggers are welcoming to the tribe? Jack felt a sense of deja vu when he saw White Teeth. He couldn't suppress his inner love for White Cliff. I want to touch before walking up. Aya seems to have recognized Jack, who had a blind date before, and shouted at him, Chief Witness, hurry up and stop Jack. Jack explained that, I didn't mean any harm myself, I just want to make friends with him. But in the eyes of the chief, White Teeth are just tools that work hard for them, not friends. Actually, White Teeth also have emotions. Because of the chief's indifference, he often comes to the river at night, lonely looking at the distant forest, eyes filled with endless longing, being adopted by humans, but without any care. White Teeth can only emit bursts of howls to vent their inner emotions, and all of this was seen by Jack. The next morning, when Jack wandered around the tribe, suddenly encountering a brown bear, Jack was scared and crawling around. There is no way to avoid the surroundings. Fortunately, he found a pile of wood, and quickly infiltrated. Fortunately, the opening is relatively small, stopped the brown bear, but the brown bear did not give up because of this, crazy clawing at the hole with sharp front claws. After multiple attempts without success, he started yelling wildly at Jack, and reached into the claws, grabbed Jack's arm. At a critical moment, White Teeth suddenly appeared from behind the tree. With just one arrow step I rushed up. The brown bear immediately stood up. Show off your strength. White Cliff knows that hard work is definitely not enough, so he pretended to retreat, guide the brown bear away, continue to circle behind the brown bear. This way you can track the bear's movements. It can also protect Jack's safety. The brown bear realized that it was caught in the trap. Wave your claws. Get the White Cliff out of the way. But White Cliff did not give in at all. Oath to guard the brown bear to the death. Exasperated, jump up again, and scream crazily. But he saw White Fang's firm gaze and determination, realizing that there's no need to have a meal with a harmless dog. Although there is reluctance in the heart, I can only save face. Angry departure. After the white wolf saw the brown bear walk away, didn't give Jack a chance to thank him, just turn around and leave. A few days later, when Jack was about to leave, discovering Baya standing by the river again in a daze, to repay the kindness of saving lives, he slowly approached the White Cliff, and leave 2 pieces of dried meat. Same time, but White Cliff still doesn't pay attention. He waited for Jack to leave by boat, but the White Cliff came to the hillside, watching Jack from afar. He felt Jack's kindness, but also realized that I couldn't leave him. I can only restrain my inner emotions. Intentionally estranged. A few days later, Whitecliff follows its owner to sell things at the market. Unexpectedly, he was spotted by a group of dog fighters. So while the chief was away, release the evil dog in your hand. I want to test the ferocity of White Teeth. As a result, the vicious dog was thrown to the ground by Whitecliff before it could last for 3 seconds. The Dobu man saw White Teeth so fierce. I just want to keep it for myself. The chief immediately arrived upon discovering it, but the dog fighter bit back, said he bit his beloved dog with White Teeth. The chieftain immediately took out the finest fur as compensation, but these bullies are not interested in fur. They want White Teeth as compensation. Faced with the threat of these bullies, the chief can only reluctantly agree. Whitecliff also fell into the most tragic experience of his life as a result. Dudao man abuses White Teeth to stimulate his wolf nature in his heart. Not long after, he was sent to the battlefield. Facing this unfamiliar environment, Baya looked panicked, even being chased by the fighting dogs on the field. To avoid being beaten, he can only launch a counterattack, winning the victory. Visible, the same kind that fell to the ground, his face was filled with guilt, but the merciless reality kept warning him, that's the only way. Only then can he continue to survive. Night, men reward White Teeth, bring me a spare rib. Although Bayar is already hungry, but facing the villain in front of me, but he hated it to the bone. Keep him away from half a step. After the man leaves, he lay in the cage thinking endlessly. The game continues the next day. The opponent this time is a short pit bull, although Little Bitter has a petite figure, but fierce and aggressive. Launch a fierce attack at the beginning of the game, but they were all resolved by Baye. Whitecliff did not subdue his opponent as before, because he doesn't want to become a tool for making money for these greedy humans anymore. But at this moment, Little Bitter seizes the opportunity, bite into the throat of the Whitecliff with one bite. No matter how hard White Teeth struggles, cannot get rid of it, until he was exhausted. Collapsed to the ground, the man became furious when he saw it. Pick up the stick and come up and beat it, trying to make him stand up. Just then, Jack suddenly appears, falling a man to the ground, and then he was hit with a gun. Jack quickly jumped off the arena, pry up Little Bitter's mouth with an iron rod, rescue the dying Whitecliff, and together with his companions take him to his own gold hut. Under Jack's meticulous care for many days, Whitecliff has finally escaped danger to its life. Jack cautiously stepped forward, trying to help him untie the iron chain, but now White Fang has already lost trust in humanity. Even Jack, who was once saved by him, he also mercilessly bit his palm. Jack endured the severe pain. I didn't blame him. He knew that the pain inside Whitecliff needed time to heal. In the following interactions, although Jack patiently feeds him every day, but Whitecliff still harbors resentment, dare not approach Jack. Under Jack's daily comfort, Baya finally let go of his guard, start letting Jack caress. Afterwards, they became the best friends. Even Baya took the initiative to run to the cave to help Jack with his car. But it didn't take a while. The gold-rushing cave collapsed. Dust and smoke rise everywhere. My companions quickly rushed to the cave, permeating into White Teeth, already desperately digging the soil. Rescued Jack. Before Jack could recover from the joy of escaping death, another surprise came one after another. My companion found gold on White Tooth's paws. They couldn't suppress their endure. Returned to the cave. The scene before them made them dare not dream so fiercely. There are tons of gold here. To test the purity of gold, Jack arrived at the car with White Teeth. But here, White Teeth here recognized the bulldog man who had mistreated him. The Dudao man was frightened and ran away, but this also caused them trouble. After Jack returns, excitedly tell your companions. The purity of gold is as high as 98%. This means they have endless money to spend, but they didn't realize that the despicable Dobu man had followed them to this place. They quietly climbed up the wooden house, blocked the chimney. Companions detect anomalies. Just as I opened the door, there was a gunshot. That's how they understand. Being followed by someone. The Dudao man blocked them inside, and ignited the wooden house. Want to wait for the rabbit. Seeing the two of them not coming out for a long time, one of them couldn't resist rushing in. He just kicked open the door. White Teeth jumped up in one fell swoop. Pounce on it. That's it. 3 bullies were taken to the police station, but they want to enjoy this batch of gold well. Must leave this wilderness. White Teeth seems to feel separation, reluctantly lying on Jack's lap. After a night of inner struggle, Jack, final choice to leave. Leave White Teeth in this forest that belongs to him. After bidding farewell to Whitecliff, but Baya still stays in place, unwilling to leave. Go. Neuropathy. Whitecliff is in low sorrow, a face full of reluctance and a helplessness. Jack had to pick up a stick to drive away the Whitecliff. That's when I turned around and left, and Jack also ran like crazy. Cover up one's inner sadness and reluctance. Just go back to land. They can become wealthy, but Jack couldn't be happy anymore. When they arrived at the dock and were about to board the ship, Jack made an unexpected decision. A slight smile from the companion, expressing understanding of Jack. After Jack returned to the mining area, refurbishment of burnt wooden houses, he doesn't know if it's worth it, but at least now he can't leave his White Teeth behind. White Tooth also came to the house with a clear heart. After they discovered each other, smile at each other, started this tearful two-way journey. Decadent. Dogs are humanity's most loyal friends, from the toddler stage of puppies, to learn to run in a spirited and heroic manner, to infinite trust in humanity, are the most beautiful and precious things in the world. If you don't love, but please don't hurt. If walking a dog, but please tie the dog rope.